Oh, that's right. Okay, great. Now, he has made it to Queen's Park safely, thank goodness. He's riding the streets this morning and getting some safety advice along the way. He's doing the cycling from a cyclist point of view. So let's go to him right now. You made it just to Queen's Park, where they've done a relatively good job in accommodating cyclists around you.
They have, and I feel like this whole area, there are quite a few bike lanes, and all the way here, you know, if you do plan your route out enough, there are bike lanes so that you make sure that you are kind of away from traffic, or as much away as you can to be from traffic. So I'm safely here in one piece, and I have our friend Clint Stibbe with the Toronto Police Services. Thank you so much for coming this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So one of the first things that I wanted to ask, what are some of the biggest, offenses, if you will, that cyclists face? Because, quite often you see them buzzing around, especially in bumper-to-bumper traffic. What are some of the biggest things cyclists do?
Well, not just, if we just look at bumper-to-bumper traffic, I think that's being very narrow-minded. We have to look at traffic in general. Stop signs are a big issue that we do see. A number of cyclists that will roll, they'll signal their intention to stop, however they'll roll through, or they'll signal their intention to turn right, but they're not actually completing both steps. They're actually not coming to a full stop and then proceeding through that stop sign or light to make the right-hand turn. So we need to keep in mind that when you're operating a bicycle, you are still a vehicle on the road, and in most cases you're under the same rules as a driver of a motor vehicle.
Just because your bike doesn't have a motor doesn't mean you're exempt from these rules. And one of the things I wanted to ask too was distracted driving. I mean, it's very heavily enforced that you can't text, you can't drive, you can't be distracted behind the wheel. Yet cyclists, so often I stop at a red light and I see cyclists pull out their phone to change their song, or to text their loved one back. Is that against the law?
No, it's not, if you're stopped. If you are riding your bicycle and you've got a device in your hand, you're texting. I've seen individuals riding bicycles with no hands, texting on their cell phones. It's unsafe. You can be charged under the bylaw for operating a motor vehicle while only having one hand, or actually, let's rephrase that, not having both hands on the steering. So that is a $60 fine under the bylaw plus surcharges. So there are charges in place, although the distracted driving legislation was always geared towards the driver of a motor vehicle. There are rules that now cause cyclists to have to be responsible for their actions and essentially be safe on the road.
Right, and you can see around this intersection that the lanes are quite clearly marked out. So make sure that you do read up on the roads that you are riding and make sure that you are aware. And for those of you who are watching at home as well, you can see I have a GoPro on my head. That is being streamed live continuously on our second screen, bttoronto.ca. Also on our Facebook page, we have a fantastic conversation around what you feel like should be changed in the city of Toronto to make sure that it is more accommodating to both motorists and cyclists, so that it is a more harmonious environment. So be sure to check that out. I'm going to head down to my next stop where I'm going to chat with Cycle Toronto. You're watching BT Toronto. We'll have more BT right after the break.
Winston.
Yeah.
Honestly, yes. I was watching some of the footage that we rolled some of the footage from a little bit earlier, and you're lucky the roads aren't that busy right now. But I'll tell you, it took my breath away when I watched a bus go by you, literally brushed against you.
Yeah, and it really depends where you are. If you're on a road where you're sharing the bike lane with, live traffic, you really do have to be careful and hug the curb. So, you really do have to be careful. So, there are some really handy cycling maps out there where there are dedicated bike lanes. I would definitely recommend checking those out.
And be careful on those streetcar tracks as well. So you can follow Winston on our second screen live, BT Extra. It's on our app, on our website. So there's that bus. Look at that. No, thank you. Oh my gosh, let's watch out for each other out there. 6:46, back with business right after this.